Hello again, everybody. I'm Ed Robinson, and welcome to Robinson Responds. I'm here to give you my thoughts on Monday Night Football between the Baltimore Ravens and the Los Angeles Chargers. So the Ravens handled their business, beating the Chargers on the West Coast. Final score, 30-23. So Saquon Barkley, he did his thing on the West Coast with the Eagles beating the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday Night Football. Well, we had another East Coast team, the Baltimore Ravens, beating the Los Angeles Chargers. So what Saquon did for the Eagles is what Derrick Henry did for the Ravens. Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 140 yards. Derrick Henry, he bullied the Rams defense. You talk about stiff arms and shoulder blocks and just plowing his way for extra yardage. Derrick Henry was a man amongst boys in the Monday night victory over the Los Angeles Chargers. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Derwin James Jr. and company for the Charger defense, they had no answers for King Henry. Just that simple. Derrick Henry was a man amongst boys in that contest with the Ravens beating the Chargers. Lamar Jackson did his thing as usual. He had 2 touchdown passes, and he had a rushing touchdown in the contest. Lamar's going to be a candidate for this year's MVP. He's already a 2-time league MVP. But in my personal opinion, I think the MVP is going to come down to 2 men, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Saquon tore up the Rams' defense on Sunday night. Derrick Henry, he sliced up the Charger defense on Monday night. So Derrick Henry, he was a good problem for the Baltimore Ravens. And I've mentioned in previous shows about Saquon Barkley being such an X factor for the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, Derrick Henry is the X factor for the Baltimore Ravens. He comes in, Saquon Barkley is an X factor for the Eagles offense. He comes in and he's a game changer. He's a difference maker. Well, Derrick Henry is the same way for the Ravens offense. He's an X factor, he's a difference maker, and a game changer. Whenever Lamar can't get going in the passing game, Derrick Henry is right there to move the offense. And again, as I mentioned earlier, Derrick Henry, 24 carries for 140 yards. Lamar Jackson, completed 16 out of 22 passes for 177 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and a rushing touchdown. Justice Hill, 4 carries for 55 yards and a rushing touchdown. Zay Flowers, 5 catches for 62 yards. Mark Andrews, 5 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown. And Rashad Bateman had 2 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. So aside from Lamar and Derrick doing their thing, the supporting cast, they came through in the clutch as well. Justice Hill, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, all making plays when needed on the offensive side. The defense handled their business as well. Kyle Hamilton made plays, but also guys like Kyle Van Noy, he made plays as well. And Justin Herbert, again, the Chargers in the first half, they were automatic. In the second half, they were far from that. Justin Herbert you talk about a tale of 2 halves. In the first half, Justin Herbert could not be stopped. In the second half, he was stopped. And the Ravens defense, they got to him. They figured it out. Coach John Harbaugh, him and his squad, they figured out what to do going forward in the second half, and they dominated, and they never looked back. And against Justin Herbert, he completed 21 out of 36 passes for 218 yards and a rushing touchdown. J.K. Dobbins, before suffering a knee injury, he had 6 carries for 40 yards, and he had 3 catches for 19 yards. Gus Edwards had a rushing touchdown in the game, and Ladd McConkey had 6 catches for 83 yards. So this was only the 3rd meeting in the Harbaugh Bowl between the brothers John and Jim. John, 3-0. Their first meeting was in 2011. Ravens would win that one 16-6. And then several years later, they had the rematch, Ravens 49ers, the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Remember that when Beyonce performed and the lights went out? yeah, that was a close game. Ravens would win that one. And then just recently, Monday Night Football, Brother John victorious again over his brother Jim. Ravens beating the Chargers 30-23. So going forward, as far as the Ravens are concerned, big game against the Philadelphia Eagles. This could be a defining game in terms of who will win this year's league MVP or who could be the front runner in the MVP race. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, two once-in-a-lifetime running backs. I mean, just two guys that were the biggest free agents during this past offseason, and two gentlemen that were duped. Almost kind of like if you like somebody and they accept your dating request and they don't show up to the date, you wind up getting duped. Well, Saquon Barkley gave his all for 6 years to the New York Giants. They didn't want him anymore. He got duped even though he wanted to stay. Guess what? The Philadelphia Eagles, they pulled the trigger. Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, they wound up signing Saquon. Derrick Henry, great seasons with the Tennessee Titans. He got duped as well. He wanted to play for the Dallas Cowboys. He was duped by Jerry Jones. Jerry claims that they didn't have enough money to pay him. I'm not buying that. Guess what? The Baltimore Ravens, they pulled the trigger, and they wind up signing Derrick Henry. And both gentlemen have been game changers, and both gentlemen have been X factors. And, boy, this is going to be one heck of a game between the Eagles and the Ravens. And it's going to come down to the play of those two dynamic running backs with Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. And as for the Los Angeles Chargers, man, the next two games that they have, they're going to be tough. They've got the Atlanta Falcons, a road game in Atlanta. Falcons coming off of their bye week. Kirk Cousins and company, they're trying to get back on track. And then you talk about one quarterback battle with Justin Herbert and Kirk Cousins. And then you've got a Sunday night game with Justin Herbert and the Chargers visiting Mr. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champions. So the next couple of games are going to be tough ones for the Chargers. And we'll see what Coach Jim Harbaugh is made of and what his team is made of. They start off strong, but will they be able to finish strong against Atlanta and against Kansas City? Hey, only time will tell, man, but you got to handle your business on the field. And when you don't handle your business on the field, you pay the price, and you could be in jeopardy of losing a playoff spot or even not having a chance to win the division. But in the meantime, again, Monday Night Football, the Baltimore Ravens beat the Los Angeles Chargers 30-23. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.